Murphy's Law. This one hits close to home for everyone. Imagine you finally land your dream job interview, wake up early, get dressed perfectly, only to spill a steaming cup of coffee all over your outfit right as you walk out the door. That's Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong, especially at the most inconvenient moment, probably will. Parkinson's Law. Ever notice how a school project magically expands to fill the entire semester if the deadline is far away, but you can whip up a decent presentation the night before if it's absolutely necessary? That's Parkinson's Law in action. Work tends to stretch out to occupy the time allotted for its completion, so if you have a looming deadline, buckle up and get focused. Hanlon's razor. This principle is all about giving people the benefit of the doubt. Your best friend forgets your birthday dinner reservation. Maybe they just got swamped at work, not that they're secretly plotting revenge, unless you've done something truly terrible, of course. Before jumping to conclusions about someone's intentions, consider that misunderstandings or simple forgetfulness are more likely culprits than malice. Occam's razor. Have you ever been troubleshooting a tech problem and felt like you're overthinking things? Occam's razor suggests the simplest explanation is usually the right one. Your computer suddenly won't turn on. The most likely culprit is a dead battery or a loose cable, not an infestation of gremlins in the circuitry. Although that would be a pretty cool storyline for a movie. Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. This rule applies to many aspects of life. You might find that 80% of the results you get from your exercise routine come from just 20% of the exercises you do. The key takeaway? Identify that high-impact 20% and focus your efforts there for maximum results. It's the same with language learning. Mastering the most common vocabulary will get you much further in conversations than trying to memorize obscure words. Metcalfe's law. Imagine a walkie-talkie with only 2 people using it. The communication options are pretty limited. Now picture a social media platform with millions of users. Suddenly, the potential connections and interactions explode. Metcalfe's law states that the value of a network increases exponentially with the number of users. The more people using a system, the more valuable and powerful it becomes. Moore's law. Remember those giant computers that filled entire rooms in the 1960s? Moore's law, an observation about the rapid advancement of technology, suggests that the number of transistors on a microchip doubles roughly every 2 years. This incredible growth in processing power has shrunk computers down to the size of smartphones and revolutionized the way we live. Dunning-Kruger Effect. This one explains why some people seem blissfully unaware of their own incompetence. Have you ever encountered a new investor who thinks they're a stock market genius after a lucky streak? That's the Dunning-Kruger effect in action. Unskilled people often overestimate their abilities, while truly skilled people tend to be more self-aware and recognize the challenges involved. Clarke's third law science fiction writer, Arthur C. Clarke's famous quote proposes, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." Imagine showing a modern smartphone to someone from the 1800s. A device that fits in your pocket, connects you to anyone instantly, and displays information from around the world. Pure magic to them. This law highlights the incredible pace of technological advancement and how what seems like science fiction today can become commonplace tomorrow. Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. These are a cornerstone of science fiction, created by author Isaac Asimov. They act as safety guidelines for robots to prevent harm to humans. The core principles are: 1. Do not harm humans. A robot's primary function is to ensure human safety. 2. Obey human orders, except when conflicting with the first law. Robots should follow instructions, but prioritize human well-being in any conflict. 3. Protect their own existence, as long as it doesn't violate the first 2 laws. Robots can take steps to preserve themselves, but only if it doesn't endanger humans or disobey orders. Betteridge's law of headlines. This law, coined by journalist Ian Betteridge, pokes fun at clickbait headlines. It states, any headline that ends in a question mark can be answered by the word no. Have you ever seen a headline like, "Can you believe this shocking discovery?" Betteridge's law suggests the answer is likely a resounding no, and the content itself might be underwhelming. Cunningham's law programmer Ward Cunningham offered a humorous observation on online knowledge sharing. He stated, "The best way to get the right answer on the internet is not to ask a question, it's to post the wrong answer." While seemingly strange, this law highlights that corrections to an incorrect statement often provide the most accurate information. If you post a wrong answer, people are likely to jump in and set the record straight, giving you the knowledge you seek. Godwin's law, internet lawyer Mike Godwin made a cynical observation about online discourse. His law states, "As an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving Nazis or Hitler approaches 1. The idea is that conversations often escalate and veer off topic, with someone inevitably bringing up Hitler or the Nazis to emphasize a point. This can derail the discussion and overshadow the original topic." Campbell's law science fiction author John W. Campbell offered a cautionary observation about societal progress. He stated, "The more a society advances, the more susceptible it is to the most childish arguments. The concern is that complex problems can be reduced to oversimplified solutions, hindering real progress. Just because an idea is easy to understand doesn't mean it's the most effective approach to a complex issue." Law of unintended consequences. This principle highlights the fact that our actions, even those with good intentions, can sometimes have unforeseen and negative results. Building a massive dam to control flooding might seem like a great idea, but it could disrupt natural fish migration patterns and damage the ecosystem downstream. It's important to consider the potential ripple effects of our choices before taking action. Laws of holes. Ever get stuck in a situation and just make it worse by struggling? The laws of holes offer a simple yet powerful piece of advice. If you're in a hole, stop digging. Maybe you're stuck in rush hour traffic and decide to take a back road to avoid the jam, only to find yourself on a dead-end street. Sometimes the best course of action is to acknowledge the situation, learn from it, and try a different approach. The Peter Principle. This principle, observed by management consultant Lawrence Peter, suggests that in a hierarchy, employees tend to rise to their level of incompetence. People get promoted for doing their jobs well, but eventually reach a position where they lack the skills or knowledge to excel. Imagine a great salesperson who gets promoted to sales manager, but struggles with the leadership and strategic planning aspects of the new role. Stigler's Law. Named after economist George Stigler, this law states, "No regulation is ever repealed." The idea is that once a regulation is implemented, the bureaucracy created to enforce it becomes entrenched and resists any attempts at removal. Even if the original purpose of the regulation becomes outdated, the system itself can be difficult to dismantle.